In this chapter, we will discuss some of the important points. 1. Emergence of nation-state. 2. Making of nationalism in Europe. 3. The Age of Revolutions 1830 to 1848. 4. The making of Germany and Italy. 5. Visualizing the nation. 6. Nationalism and imperialism. Now let's start the chapter. Hey my dear students, today we will start a new chapter. The name of the chapter is The Rise of Nationalism in Europe. So let's start. First of all, students, please tell me that what is nationalism?
So ma'am, nationalism is a sense of identity with a nation.
Right, nationalism, a feeling of love or pride for your own country. So in this lesson, we will discuss how the nationalism started in Europe. We will discuss the concepts of liberty, equality, fraternity and nationalism. It was started from 19th century, which led to the decline of feudalism and the beginning of Renaissance period. So students, feudalism refers to the social system which existed in the Middle Ages in Europe, in which people worked and fought for a person who owned land and received land and protection from him in return. So can you tell me what is Renaissance?
Renaissance was a period of rebirth of Europe, which gave importance to culture, art, etc.
Good. Now let's go deep to know how the revolutionary period started in Europe. So, the factors which led to the rise of nationalism in Europe are: 1. The rise of middle class. 2. The spread of ideology of liberalism. 3. The new spirit of conservatism and the Treaty of Vienna. Now, let's start French Revolution. It was the main revolution which influenced different revolutions of the world. It was started in 1789. It was an influential event that marked the age of revolutions in Europe. It led to the formation of a constitutional monarchy and the downfall of feudalism. Now tell me, what are the factors that are achieved due to this French Revolution?
So the answer is national identity and national pride.
Good. The French Revolution produced a famous personality and a warrior called Napoleon Bonaparte. He introduced Civil Code of 1804, which is also called Napoleonic Code. Napoleon destroyed democracy in France, but he introduced the principle of Civil Code of 1804. The features of this code are: 1. It removed all the privileges based on birth. 2. Established equality. 3. Secured the right to property. 4. Abolished feudal system. 5. Freed peasants from serfdom system. 6. Guild system was removed. Now tell me, dear students, what are universal laws and who introduced this concept in Europe?
Universal laws refers as concepts of legal legitimacy actions. It was introduced by Napoleon Bonaparte.
Good. Now, let's move to the concept of liberalism in Europe. During the mid-18th century, Europe was divided into several small kingdoms and principalities. For the new middle classes, liberalism stood for freedom. In France, the vote right was started. In the economic sphere, liberalism stood for the freedom of markets and the abolition of state-imposed restrictions. In 1834, a customs union or Zollverein was formed. It abolished traffic barriers. Now tell me, what is the difference between conservatism and revolutions?
So ma'am, conservative means traditional and revolutionaries means a person who starts an action to help the government of country.
Good. So, after the defeat of Napoleon Bonaparte in 1815, the European government adopted the idea of conservatism. It refers to political philosophy that puts importance of tradition, established institutions, and preferred gradual development. Giuseppe Mazzini, who was a famous Italian revolutionarist born in 1807 in Genoa. He formed two secret societies that are Young Italy of Marseille and Young Europe in Bern. Now, I will explain you about the Treaty of Vienna. It was formed by Duke Metternich in 1815. The major points of Treaty of Vienna are: 1. In 1895, Britain, Russia, Prussia and Austria, the representatives of the European powers, had got together at Vienna to draw up a settlement for Europe. 2. Then, the delegates drew up the Treaty of Vienna of 1815 with the main objective of undoing most of the reformation that had come about in Europe during the Napoleonic Wars, to restore the monarchies that had been overthrown by Napoleon, and to create a new conservative order in Europe. Now tell me, what are the changes that occurred due to Treaty of Vienna?
So ma'am, my answer is 1. The Bourbon dynasty was brought back to power, as it was dethroned during the French Revolution. 2. France had annexed many states under Napoleon, and lost them as a result of the treaty. To make sure that French expansion in the future doesn't take place, a series of states were set up at the boundaries of France. 3. Prussia was given importance, and new territories on its western frontiers. Austria was given control of northern Italy. Russia was given a part of Poland. Prussia was given a portion of Saxony.
Right. Now let's end this topic here. Next day we will continue with this chapter only. Thank you.